Do-diddly-do-do-do-do-do-diddly-do-do-do-do. So no one told you life was gonna be this way. Your job's a joke, you broke, your love life's to your way. It's like you're always stuck in second gear, when it hasn't been your day, your week, your month, or even your year. But I'll be there for you when the rain starts to pour. I'll be there for you like I've been there before. I'll be there for you 'cause you're there for me too.
Then if you're going around the park, you get to Fantasyland. But Charlotte and Rachel aren't so impressed with the kiddie rides. They're more big roller coaster fans, and Maura is a bit too. So we sort of skipped out Fantasyland at this point, and we did come back, but I'll get to that later. I can't remember exactly what we did next. I think we possibly went round to Big Thunder Mountain, because that was one of the ones that we really wanted to go on. But the queue is quite long, so we got fast passes for that. Which, if you've been at Disneyland parks before and never used fast pass, I would recommend that you have a look into it, because we all laboured under the delusion, my family, that you had to pay the money, but you don't. They're actually free. So there is another top tip from me. So because we didn't get Big Thunder Mountain then, we went round to either Indiana Jones or Pirates of the Caribbean. We'll go with Pirates of the Caribbean. If you go on Pirates of the Caribbean expecting a big roller coaster, you're gonna be disappointed. I'll say that now. But it is the ride came before the films. So the films are based on the ride. If you didn't know that, that is one of my favourite fun facts. A bit like Star Tours, I think it's probably a better ride if you speak the language that they are speaking. And this one is one of those ones that takes your picture while they're on the ride, and because I had been on the ride before, I'd forgotten about the picture, but I was expecting the moment at which the picture was taken. I don't want to give anything away. So here is the picture with Charlotte trying to use Rachel as a human shield, despite the fact that Charlotte is on the outside of the boat. Rachel looking terrified at the prospect of Charlotte using her as a human shield. Maura looking like she's having a dandy old time. And me, apparently, I look unimpressed. Which, probably accurate, yeah. And then there was the Indiana Jones ride. We were going around in the queue, and they've got these camps, like supposed archaeological dig camps, set up and everything. And then we got to the last one, and here be a picture. And Maura goes, "It's the whip!" And yeah, because it was Indiana Jones's whip and his fedora. I'm never sure how you say that. Fedora, I don't care, really, to be honest. That one has a loop-the-loop right at the end, okay? And I apparently my brother told me this, but I had forgotten. And so we got to the queue, and you see that we got pretty much to the end of the queue before you could see that there was a loop-the-loop, and I go, and I'd never been on a thing with a loop-the-loop before, and so I was slightly worried, but it was fine. I should have known it was fine, being a physicist and having an understanding of how the forces work and stuff like that. I was still worried. I'm annoyed because what I did was, in anticipation of the loop-the-loop, push my glasses onto my face, which then meant that I was like this, which then meant that I was looking down for the entire of the loop-the-loop, unable to raise my head, which was kind of annoying. I really like the Indiana Jones ride. It's not something that I've been on before because they don't have that in Florida. They just have a stunt show, which is pretty cool and pretty funny, but once you've seen it once, you kind of know what's coming, and it gets a bit old, but you know. I should stop going off on tangents. No, I'm not going to stop going off on tangents. It's just a fact of nature. After we'd been on them, we had quite a lot of time to kill because our fast passes for Big Thunder Mountain were quite late, so we had to stay for that, and we also were going to stay for the fireworks and all of that stuff. So then we turned to the kiddie ride stuff. But before I talk about the kiddie ride stuff, I wanted to talk about Big Thunder Mountain because I wanted to compare that with the Indiana Jones ride. I was a bit disappointed personally with Big Thunder Mountain. I'd never been on it before, and I was expecting it to be a bit more like scary and roller coastery, but it wasn't quite that scary. It was a bit more gentle. Not really gentle, mind you. It's still like quite a big roller coaster, but there's no sort of big scary drops or loop-the-loops or anything like that. I really loved the ride, don't get me wrong at all, but I think that if you're expecting it to be this big roller coaster, you're probably going to be happier with Indiana Jones than you are with Big Thunder Mountain. That's just my personal opinion. In favour of Big Thunder Mountain though, it's probably like about twice as long as Indiana Jones. It was a really long roller coaster, you know, considering how long roller coasters normally are. So I was impressed with that, and that is my opinions. I like giving my opinions.